In this video, we're going to talk about generative fill in a way that can help you edit a photo. Instead of adding things in like I'm sure you've seen before, we're going to take a look at how we can edit a photo to better suit maybe what we need. For example, taking this kid out of this photo and some of those other stuffs, as well as extending the scene beyond what we have. Photoshop does an amazing job of that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to use the new selection brush here, and we're just going to kind of paint over these spaces that we want to remove. I'm just going to do generative fill and leave it blank and do generate. And so what Photoshop is doing is it's looking for the best solution to fill this space with what already exists within the photo, or pulling from other means for it. And it does a really good job of filling that space in. Okay, it's the same thing here. We're going to go ahead and use that same selection brush here. Now, I could use anything. I could use the lasso tool, make a selection. It doesn't necessarily matter. And do generative fill and go ahead and do generate. And again, it's going to remove the people from it because I'm saying select here and just fill the space with what you think should be there. And it does a fantastic job of editing that. Instead of doing some of the other things, I put a castle in here, or I want to do different clouds, or I want to add birds in here, which you can totally do with generative fill, right? So I could go in here with this and say flock of birds. Now, I don't have the greatest luck with some of this sometimes. I think you really have to kind of figure it out. But you could, generative fill, you can also do like really interesting things like that. Right, so the birds are here, and it actually did a really good, except for that one. That's a pretty good edit that's there. So yes, you can absolutely do those things. But let's take a look at something like this. I have this whole entire scene, but it's just too cropped in. The space that I need to be a little bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select just a little bit inside of this, and I'm going to do Command-Shift-I or Control-Shift-I to inverse this. So now it's the selection is all this outside spot that's here. And I'm going to use generative fill and do generate. And so what I'm asking it to do is generate more of the scene that already exists. Okay, so it's going to kind of use its computations or whatever it's doing, and it extends the scene, and it does a shockingly amazing job. That is completely extending that scene and making it fill that space that's there. That's great. It added more to it. I could continue to do that and really kind of extend my scenes. The same way with this. We take this photo, and maybe I just need it a little bit longer. So I'm going to select a little bit over. That's the key. I want to select a little bit over so Photoshop has a little bit to go on, and I'm going to do generate. Right? It helps with the overlapping. It helps with the blending. It helping it look more seamless. That's there. So it can really extend this scene out and really kind of fill it in. And I think it does. And if you don't like the way that it looks, you can also regenerate. Let's do another regeneration and see what happens. But it completely extended that scene to something interesting that's there. And so again, maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you want more sky or other things, but it can really kind of extend this out in a really quite incredible way. Okay, so this works better if it's not super high res. I think they're still working on getting these higher res images that are there. But this one looks, you can see this one's a little bit lower quality. So that's the only downfall. This just happens to be a really high res image. Right, we're sitting at 4,300 pixels. So that's the only downfall, but it's really great if you just need to extend that scene just a little bit. I've done it with stuff that I've created on my own, and it extends it. So it does a really great job of that. So that is generative fill used to either take people out or take things out, or just kind of extend